Well, good morning, Sunday morning. First, I want to thank, got quite a few suggestions, comments, and questions, and I appreciate it. It helps guide me if I'm on the right path, if I'm giving out the information that you're looking for, because if not, what's the point? Today's topic is, I don't know, it feels a little awkward to me for some reason. It's finding a mate in Ecuador. It feels awkward because a couple of the people that sent me the questions, I think that's their primary goal, to go to another country, find a certain type of, these are men, find a certain type of woman and make their life partner that way. And I get the flavor of it being along the lines of, should I go to Thailand where there's lots of girls and prostitutes and young girls and like that, to the Philippines where there's a broad range of ages and that sort of thing. They just, for whatever reason, they have USA man fetish. But they're looking in South America, they're looking in Ecuador, and Ecuador is not the place for that. As a matter of fact, partnerships, especially that lead to marriage between USA and Ecuadorians, are really limited. There's a certain structure to it. First of all, it's kind of an old-timey culture. You have certain ways of doing things. Second of all, they really tend to look to their own demographic. In other words, if a girl's 25 years old, she might look to somebody up to 30. She's not going to look for a guy of 50. Fat guys, not very sought after in most parts of the world, and particularly Ecuador. Although a little ironic, since there's a lot of fat women in Ecuador. I suspect, well, my friend who's not fat, but she's always she's always panicked about that. She calls it rice babies. It's because in one meal they may get plantain and rice and French fries and some other starch and pasta. They're carbohydrate starch crazy. And when you have lunch, depending on where you go, you might get 3, 4, 5 different kinds of starches to go with a little ounce of some kind of meat. So there's a lot of chubby Ecuadorian women in Ecuador, which surprised me because in Colombia, which is right next door, and they're very similar people, the women there are like every street corner, it looks like a photo shoot of a model magazine. They're very concerned about their looks. They use makeup, they dress sexy, high heels, that's normal. Here they dress in baggy sweatpants and pullover sweaters and no makeup, and their hair is kind of bunched up, and you may see that in the background of some of the videos that I shoot. But that's the physical thing. As far as, if you come here and you're looking to find a part, it's really, first of all, you better learn your Spanish real well, conversational. There's English spoken here in restaurants, some stores, some, but as far as socializing and that sort of thing, there's not so much of that, so you would need to learn Spanish, and that's okay. But then you have to overcome the hurdles of the very conservative society, very picky, very choosy. So if you're a 50-year-old guy and you think you're going to come to Ecuador and you're going to score some hot 23-year-old girl, it ain't going to happen. And you know, and here they don't have such a concern. They're not enamored with money, so you're not going to come in and dazzle them with, you know, you can buy this and you can buy it. They could care less about that sort of thing. As a matter of fact, that's considered to be classless, and it would put you, you know, farther outside the circle. You know, so if that's the kind of thing you're looking for, then you probably want to go to somewhere in Asia, maybe a few areas of Colombia, maybe. I'm not so sure. I lived there for a while, but I wasn't looking for anything, so I wasn't really focused on that. But I just did notice there were just a lot. I mean, it would almost make you blush with these girls with their high-heeled shoes and their mini skirts and their midriff shirts. It's like, yeah, it was different. And you come here and it's the polar opposite. So, are there partnerships that form? Yes. You see it occasionally, now and then. U.S., Ecuadorian, you see it now and then. I know of a couple. But they're pretty much peers. They're on par with each other, similar age group and that kind of thing. Now, as far as finding somebody, maybe you're going to find somebody in the expat community. Well, that's a possibility. I haven't been to them. I'm not out for socializing really. But I understand that there's some social events and now and then something put together specifically to try to put people together. But I think you're going to find that if that's your intent of coming here, then don't come here. You'll have better success with that right where you are. So that's really, I hope that answered some questions. I'm glad that topic is, I'm glad I'm done with it, and enjoy your Sunday.